Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we're going to be doing some gameplay for the metagame breakdowns for the week. Timeless, I'm working with the guys at Untapped to try to get the show and tell bug fixed so we can see those stats. We got out the other formats, but Historic's pretty much like 2 decks, or 2-3 decks, so not really much to update at that point with Historic for the time being. But I thought we'd try out some Standard today, try out some new cards in Mono Red. I've liked versions of the best of 3 mono red in the past. It got 7 wins in the last metagame challenge with the version that was on the full set of forges in the main. So a couple cards here. This deck list, the main board is from Islands in Front on Twitter. They're trying out Fugitive, Codebreaker in a leaner version, so a lot like lower curve. So this is a 2-mana 2/1. And then when it's turned face up, so you can cloak it. If it's turned face up, you discard your hand and draw 3 cards. Its disguise cost is reduced by 1 for each instant sorcery in your yard, but for the most part, it's a 2-mana 2/1 prowess haste. So every creature in our deck has haste, which is nice. And playing the usual package, Monstrous Rage, Phoenix Chick, play with fire. No Voldaren, like adversary. Instead, we're trying out Case of the Crimson Pulse. So the case basically enters battlefield, discard 2, or discard a card, draw 2. If you have no cards in hand, this is how you solve it. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to discard your hand and then draw 2 cards. So you do have to set an upkeep stop if you have cards in hand, but for the most part, it's basically draw an extra 2 cards every turn, which is kind of cool. We have Witchstalker Frenzy in here, same idea. The sideboard I tweaked a bit per my preference. So we're playing 3 on the Festivities for Convoke matchup, Lithomantic Barrage for white and blue cards, Obliterating Bolt for 4 toughness, and then I'm playing the full set of Urabrask Forge on the side against control and like mid-range decks, Unlicensed Hearse for like the new crime decks, like anything using the graveyard. We run into like 4-color legends with like the Slowgark, for example, and then a copy of like 4th copy of Witchstalker for like the Shieldred decks. May want like 3-mana Chandra in this particular list. There has been an uptick in control, so something to kind of consider there. But we're gonna give this a shot, and then we'll try out some other decks in Explore as well. Standard rank, best of 3. Let's see how this plays out. So biggest thing is with these games, like obviously win-loss record, we're concerned, not even concerned. It's helpful to see, but what we want to do is when we're playing these games, see is Case better than some of the other 3-drop options that we could be running instead. Godric or just a Forge or more Squeeze in the main. So little considerations as we're going through the games themselves. So as we wait for our opponent to decide if they are going to keep or mull, we will get our hand. I think this is reasonable. We'll run it out. We are trying to hit 15,000 subs on the YouTube channel. You see in the right-hand corner, closing in on 12,000. If you haven't subbed to the channel, we do metagame breakdowns every week. I think here, I think we still run it out. There's a likelihood we're just going to get locked down here. But if they have no more lies, it's fine. I think I'm actually just going to make a treasure here. If they have like the temp lockdown, then I can do play with fire. Yep. Because the Wicked roll doesn't really do too much here, and this hopefully lets me find another piece of action. Rage. Rage is not great in this matchup. So this is definitely a Forge in matchup. Some lists are skimping on Knockout Blow. Okay, no more lies, get that out of the way. So this will require at least some form of answer. If not, hopefully we can try to sneak in a Monstrous Rage. Drawing Frenzies here are not great. Let's see what they do here. So here, we could trade the token, or I could just push through damage. I think we just push through the damage here. It gets 5 on there, so they can make another token with Wandering Emperor. They could have a sweeper. They might just choose to exile, which honestly isn't terrible. They gain some life back, but they might have another Emperor here. And we are just flooding out here hard. They have another Emperor here. I'm just gonna... We'll do this. At least it kind of stifles their win con. We'll hold this back in case we draw a case. This is a little bit of my concern with this particular variant is you're playing a lot more like, I don't like being all in on the monstrous rage. You have the codebreakers. Deluge, likely find some more answers, which would be a little bit annoying. Or just not enough pressure being put on at front. The hand was much more equipped to deal. Okay, I'm just gonna go to sideboard here. They're gonna just be able to deluge again, and they're gonna get us ahead on card advantage, so not the position I want to be. I'm gonna take out these Witchstalker Frenzies, and I'm gonna take out the Monstrous Rage. I will play a Lithomantic Barrage, I think, instead. There's also like the consideration to play Hearse, but now since they're on lockdown main, it's a little worse. I think we just run it like this. So they do a March. Sounds much better. Plus we have our Saga. So here I can go Kumano, Charming Scoundrel, make a treasure token. I think it might actually be, so they could have Knockout Blow. So if I make the treasure, I can discard. I think we're gonna discard Phoenix Chick because we get that value. Because if I can hit like Forge on curve, yeah, they had the Knockout Blow or also a Smite. It's unfortunate because it gives them a 1-mana answer. Okay, so they don't have anything this turn. I think we're just going to chunk in a bunch of damage. Okay, so they missed as well. I screwed that up. I should have played that pre-combat. Ideally, we draw a land and I could just kind of go through the whole flip. If not, we'll discard Kumano. Opponent's tanking. They're Malden. Malden essay. Arena gave us a bit of information there. With the Monstrous Rage turn, that they didn't have anything, no more lies being double pip. Not sure if they maybe got disconnected. It's fine. I do think we maybe want the Chandras. At least a copy, maybe. Like having played this game, just seeing like the fact I have to keep Monstrous Rage in. Okay, so opponent decides this game is over. We'll run it back. Mulligan this hand. That's better. We will put back the lightning bolt. Yep, so no more lies comes down here. I think we just jam here, to be honest. Opponent just really loves keeping 2 land hands. We got Seed Shark. So like I could prioritize getting Case down with the Rage. I think we just like end step deal 3 to them and then kind of force their hand here. So I can go to combat here. Might be Wandering Emperor. Could just be a block. Okay, so they exile there. Play with fire would be really nice. So I'm going to do this just so the case gets solved. So we're going to hope here that they don't have like Fateful. Instead of an upkeep stop. I can Seed Shark. So right now, 2 instants. I think we do this. The face down cards, I'm uncertain what their CMC. The cloak, if it's considered 0 or if it's considered 3, the mana that you pay for it. This is likely going to be a Sunfall. They're going to get a bunch of creatures. You make a 2/2 here. Another Forge is nice. As is Barrage. That should be lethal. So kill that. That's 6. That's 8. That's lethal. Okay, so Case and Forge both won us the game. Like, if we're looking through it, like, we're not winning that game without it. I will say we're a little soft to temporary lockdown, which doesn't have me, like, super in love. I do wish we had, like, the problem is with temporary lockdown, it limits what you could play in the 2. That's permanent based. So you are a little bit more susceptible to those types of effects. I do think we likely want another effect. I think probably cut down the Barrage and then play like one Chandra. Just kind of do it like that. Did I put the right one in? I don't want no 6 mana Chandras. 6 mana is not something we reach in this deck. Where'd Chandra go? Dress to Kill. It's also like interesting if we want something like Myrex maybe over the Foundries. Just like Myrex presents multiple bodies, which makes it a little bit harder for Control to deal with. You don't have to commit, where the Foundry is more of an investment. It makes you tap out on your turn. It's only a 2/2, to be honest. It's not like the biggest kind of power sink, but we'll give it another go, see how it is. We're playing number 90 on the ladder. All right. Baka, I say. Discard a card. Want to try to find a land here? Show me lockdown. If this format's just like blue-eye control for days. Gonna commit one more to the board here. I mean, it's more pressure. Cool. So we got the prowess in. They're down to 10. I have, even as a follow-up, bit of damage. We are going to be a little soft now. Sunfall. Okay, so we're just a burn spell from lethal. go chicken. Is the chicken enough, opponent? Did I freeze? Did you freeze? Are you afraid of the chicken? At this point in the game, like against control, you just gotta kind of throw it out there. Cool. Easy, easy peasy. Well, thankfully we made that sideboard change, so we'll bring in the forges. And I think we brought in one barrage last time. We're going to take out the frenzies. We are going to take out 3 monstrous rage. Barrage is fine too if they have like seed shark, stuff like that. I think we're okay. Huge damage. Again, I don't like playing rage post board, especially because they're going to bring in a lot more. It doesn't do anything on its own. Game 1, you could kind of get them, but I think we're fine here. Interesting line here. We can go. So I think I want to tempt them with. I think we do Wicked Roll still. I want them to lock down here. This isn't actually an interesting line. Because I could like forge for like no value. I do think we need to take Seed Shark off. I'm going to do this mana efficiency wise. So seeing Seed Shark, I'm going to bring in the second barrage. So I'm going to do this because either they have to counter. Okay, Tidebinder's fine. Not going to attack this turn. Okay, so we'll get some value there. They might be enticed with a Field of Ruin to activate it, but they're being pretty cautious with it. So I can go second Forge now. I mean, that plays us into Farewell, but I feel like we have to do it. Because then that's 3 damage here. Cool. Absolutely dismantled number 90 Mythic. So the Forges continue to be stellar in these types of decks. Just kind of punishing these slower draws. The Fugitive Codebreaker was actually like reasonable just as a creature itself with the prowess giving us another threat. I think just like kind of, this is what I like to do. Just kind of give it a thought over as you're playing the games. I think it's reasonable, like the configuration we had. I do think I would maybe want to try the Myrex over the Foundry just to see how that plays out in practice. But the case was pretty solid. I could see maybe more copies. I could see also just in the main board trimming on like a copy of Monstrous Rage maybe, and playing either a second Squee or a second Crimson Case or Crimson Pulse just to give you another 3-drop. But all in all, promising results. Let me know what you think. We'll catch you next time.